When we play Tekken, we mostly play as humans. And if you're a weirdo, then you play as robots. And there are also Yoshi guys, but those guys are different. But whoever it is that you main, they are all somewhat humanoid. And that's boring. So today I'll be taking a look at the furry friends of Tekken and dinosaurs, which are now believed to have been covered in feathers.
My life is a lie! My life is a lie!
But I digress. We'll be taking a look at animals that appeared in our favorite game. We'll see a brief history of them, when did they appear and why, what's going on with them now, and all the good stuff. So, without further ado, I think that we should start with Tekken's mascot, Kuma. Everyone's favorite bears have been with us ever since the first game. And by bears I don't mean Kuma and Panda. I mean Kuma Dad and Kuma's son, or Kuma 1 and Kuma 2 if you prefer. I've already talked about the demise of Kuma 1 in this video, so you can check it out after you watch this one. The annotation is in the top right corner. Both Kumas were Heihachi's personal bodyguards. They are so smart that they even understand basic Japanese. Even I can do that. Since they were Heihachi's bodyguards, both Kumas had pretty simple reasons for joining the tournaments. Original Kuma wanted to defeat Paul, but he was too lazy to train, so nothing came of it. But Kuma's son, Kuma, was a bit more smart and a bit less lazy. And he had the same goal of defeating Paul, so as to continue the family tradition. He was finally successful in the fourth tournament. Hard work does pay off. After that, he tried to protect the Mishima Zaibatsu unsuccessfully, as Jin took over and started to shitstorm that Tekken 6. But that's a topic for another video. In the last game, Kuma became a Tekken Force recruiter, and he fought Josie of all people. These Tekken 7 episodes really sucked. Hopefully things will get better. We know that Kuma is still with us and that he'll continue to be with us for a long time, since he's sort of a mascot for the game. And he's main comic relief for some time now, just like his love interest Panda, who we'll talk about next. Panda was introduced in the third Tekken game as an alternate costume for Kuma. But Panda is a bit more than just a reskin of Kuma. She has her own little story. She was taught the same technique as Kuma, also by Heihachi. Her occupation is also as a bodyguard, but her task is much easier since she guards Xiaoyu, which is basically babysitting. And that can be seen as she comforts Xiaoyu and is very supportive, just like a mother would be. Panda is also often seen rejecting Kuma when he tries to win her over, but sometimes she goes overboard and rejection ends up with physical violence. Poor Kuma. Her story independent of Kuma is mostly really boring. She's always trying to help Xiaoyu, whether it is by being moral support in the third and fourth tournament, or by being a sidekick in Xiaoyu's finding Jin journeys. In the 7th game, she's trying to find Xiaoyu who ran away in search of Jin. So yeah, as you can see, Panda wouldn't really have anything to do if it weren't for Xiaoyu. But you can't really expect more from story written for animals, right? No, you can. And really you should expect better, and an example of better is this crazy family from down under. This one may be a bit longer since it includes the entire family. So the Roger family consists of Roger, his wife, and their son, Roger Jr. We've played with all three of them, Roger in Tekken 2 and Roger Jr. in Tekken 5 and 6. Roger Jr. also included his mom since he couldn't enter the tournament on his own, since he is, you know, a baby. So what were the kangaroos doing at a fighting tournament? Well, Papa Roger was basically a GMO kangaroo, and he fought in the second tournament because Kazuya wanted to show off his creation. There is another creation, but we'll talk about him later. Anyway, after that second tournament, Roger leaves fighting for some time. He finds a wife, they have a kid, and then disaster strikes in the Roger family, as Papa Roger is taken. That's where his son comes in.
I will find you, and I will kill you.
He and his mom join the 5th tournament in the hopes of finding Papa Roger. Ultimately they succeed in finding him, and shockingly, Papa Roger is having a sweet ass time in Dr. B's lab. Roger Jr. is obviously pissed and he decides to beat his father. And Mama Roger files for divorce. After that, they become a single parent household, and they join a 6th tournament in the hopes of making some money so that they can survive. It is not known what has happened to them after that, since they didn't enter the 7th tournament, but they are probably well off, and that's why they didn't join. Roger Jr. was one of my favorite characters growing up, since the idea of playing as a kangaroo just seems so funny to me. I'm sad that he's absent from Tekken 7 and hopefully him and his mom will come back. So we've covered all of our furry friends and now we have only dinosaurs ahead of us. First up, Roger's friend, Alex. Alex's only appearance was in Tekken 2 as Roger's character swap. There's not really much to say about Alex that hasn't already been said about Roger. He's a GMO dinosaur that finds himself in the tournament as Kazuya's creation. The only thing we do know is that Alex was not fully grown at the time, and that's why he was weaker than the kangaroo. Imagine if he had appeared in the later games though, he would have been a menace. Unfortunately for Alex, he didn't find the love of his life like Roger did. I think that it's because his species got hit by a meteor or something like that, but it was a long time ago, so I don't really remember. His whereabouts are unknown, as he hasn't appeared in any tournament for 20 plus years. We only see him in non-canon games. And that's all for Alex. A very short and simple story, like all Tekken 2 stories. But there is one more dinosaur that was playable in the game, and that's Gon. I won't go in too deep about Gon since he was a guest character, so there's even less story about him than there is to Alex. Writers were lazy, so they didn't give him any motivation in joining. Some things never change, right? But yeah, Gon was a guest character, he joined in Tekken 3, and he was the cheapest motherfucker of all time. I remember playing against Gon, and I was raging like a lunatic. I was so frustrated, and we ultimately ended up banning him from our fighting sessions. Man, I'm glad that he hasn't appeared since. And that's it! Those are all of the animals that we've had the joy of playing as in Tekken games. My personal favorite is, as I said, Roger, but I like Kuma as well, since he is one of the most iconic characters. Who is your favorite, and who would you want to see back in the game? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you liked the video, make sure you leave a thumbs up and also subscribe. It will mean a lot. Thanks. That's all for today, and hopefully a new video will come out soon. But for now, goodbye.